Ontario police initially began working the case, but now the state has taken over because that happens anytime an unarmed person is shot and killed by an officer. The family gathered here at the shooting scene yesterday to mark 1 week since he was shot and killed here. They held a vigil here last night. The family gathered again to mark that 1 week, and they continue their demands for accountability of this off-duty LAPD officer who shot and killed Hugo Kachua. There were dozens of people who gathered on 6th Street and Euclid Avenue here in Ontario to mourn and remember the father of 3. They say he was the glue that held this family together. Ontario police said Kachua was involved in a fender bender last Thursday with that off-duty officer. There was a confrontation and then the shooting. Kachua's brother tells us he was shot 3 times in the back. The family now hopes the investigation will lead to closure.
No statements, has not been held accountable for his actions, regardless if he's an officer of the law for the government or he's a civilian for us. We need an answer. We want justice for our brother. We can't just sit back and let him live his life while we suffer and mourn and grieve and pain. And it's something that we cannot leave unsolved.
Now, the family says Kachua was not an argumentative person, so they don't understand how things escalated to a deadly shooting. Kachua was a father of 3 who worked as an Amazon delivery driver. As for the officer who shot him, we've reached out to LAPD to find out whether that officer will be placed on leave or returned to duty. We are still waiting to hear back. That officer has not been identified either. Reporting live in Ontario this morning, Rick Montanez, KCAL News.
A Prince George's County officer accused of pointing his gun at another driver was arrested and removed from duty. Police say Corporal James Thornley was off duty but still in uniform, driving his personal vehicle home August 26th when he pulled his department-issued gun on another driver in Annapolis. Nobody was injured and no other details were released. Thornley was suspended without pay and is facing an internal investigation along with criminal charges of assault and use of a firearm. He has been with the agency for 18 years. Katie Johnston for CBSN, Baltimore.
Continue to follow a breaking news alert right now on the west side. Police investigating a shooting involving a Jacksonville sheriff's officer that brought an end to a chase across the city. Sheriff T.K. Waters says it all started with a road rage incident near MLK and 95. It ended on West Beaver Street near Chafee Road, which you're looking live from. This is not far from White House Elementary School, by the way, for some perspective, as you see in the map. This is the second shooting involving a JSO officer this year.
So we can tell you that the police officer wasn't hurt. Driver is expected to survive. News4JAX reporter Brianna Andrews is live on the west side. Brianna, investigators say it took several attempts to stop that driver.
This was a chase really across the city. And one thing that we just saw in the last 2 minutes, police were here in the slot. It's empty now. But in the last 2 minutes, they just towed the police car that was involved in that chase. But I want to show you this video. This is what we saw in the last 30 minutes. This is crews towing the black pickup truck that Charles Guernsey was believed to be driving that led to a police chase across the city. Now, this all started around 12:52 this morning. A man in a vehicle flagged down a cop on the side of the road on MLK on 95. He told police he was involved in a road rage incident nearby with Charles Gurney, who he says pointed a gun at him and threatened to kill him. It's unclear if the two knew each other, but Charles was still in the area when the man he was still in the area. However, he did drive off. That's when JSO starts that car pursuit. At some point, FHP got involved. They tried 2 different pit maneuvers that did not work. On 295 in Commonwealth, JSO put sticks to deflate car tires. So eventually, Charles stops on West Beaver Street and jumps out of the car. Officer Stephen Hicks shot him. Charles, who was in his 40s, did not have a weapon on him and is in the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. He had no prior criminal history in Duval County, but had prior charges for traffic assaults, drugs, and trespassing in Baker and Alachua County. Now, this is Stephen Hicks. This is his second officer-involved shooting. He's been with JSO for about 3 years. This is JSO's second officer-involved shooting of the year. Now, again, it looks empty here right now, but it was a much different scene earlier this morning when police were out here investigating. Now, also, the state attorney's office is investigating this incident. We are still waiting to get more details from them, but until we have those, we, of course, will continue to update you on air and online. For now, reporting live, Brianna Andrews, Channel 4, the local station.